Good morning, evening, or night, depending where you are. Right now it's actually morning here in the Great Lakes. Wow, Iceberg video already. So yeah, I'm still making my album. I'm just animating and making the music videos on my computer. While that's charging, I'm gonna do side projects here. And my next project is the Splatoon 3, well the whole series Iceberg. The Splatoon Iceberg. And this iceberg is fucking massive. So today I'm only going to do tier 1, which I'm going to be honest with you, this might take an hour and stuff. But yeah, so for my phone I'm going to do projects here. Then when it dies I'll switch to my computer. When that dies, switch. And yeah, well, my computer has a longer battery life, so I'm just gonna wait till my phone charges and then get back to projects. Anyway, here we go. Let's, enough of yapping, let's get into the introduction. Splatoon is one of my favorite game series, next to Madden, Super Mario, and, Super Smash Brothers and stuff. Though, I guess I talked more about Madden than Splatoon, but yeah, I really love Splatoon, which actually makes sense, because I'm autistic. I just got diagnosed literally last week. What the hell? I don't know. Is there just a connection with people with autism in Splatoon? Whatever. Maybe it's just the colors and stuff. This game started as mainly just a little tech demo with Tofu's, but I think that's going to be down on Iceberg. But yeah, I actually started on Splatoon 2 when I first got my Switch back in 2018, and I was ending kids' careers. I mean, I was a kid then. And then when Splatoon 3 came out, I was 18. Wait, no, it came out. It came out in 2000. It was 2023, right? No, it was 2022. Hold on. Yeah, September 2022. I was 18 years old, and I played a little bit of it. Though I wasn't really fully on it. Though I did promise my boyfriend that I would 1v1 him, so that's gonna be a bloodbath. But yeah, I kind of dropped the game after so many freaking tryhards, and I was online for a month. Then I dropped it because just no matter how good I got, just people were just, I don't know, maybe because, you know, the newbie players from Splatoon 2 got better, or just people actually tried. It's just, I don't know. You know, the mechanics are wonky, but then again, you know, not every Splatoon is going to be the same, not every Call of Duty is the same. Anyway, let's go on to tier 1 of the Iceberg. Let's do this. I probably need my boyfriend for help, but I'll probably call him later. Flying Zapfish. The Flying Zapfish is mainly the power source of Inkopolis. I'm not sure about Spotsville. I need to research more about Splatoon 3. But mainly in Splatoon 1 and 2, which actually takes place in Inkopolis, is where the fish awaits. In the story mode, in Splatoon 1 and 2, the plot revolves around this thing because DJ Octavio, the main antagonist of the series, takes this freaking thing and then loses all electricity, which I want to point out that you could still play Turf Wars even if you haven't finished the story mode, but whatever. There are actually a few Easter eggs with it, like in Piranha Pit, what the heck? When you actually go to the water around like the 1 minute mark, you can actually see it and stuff. So yeah, it has a life. Well, it's not doing its 24/7 schedule of powering, like, you know, the electricity of the friggin' city, so stupid squid kids can be on their phones all day. It's a damn phone, I swear! Like I'm not addicted or anything. Kelly and Marie, Pearl and Marina, and Shiver, Fry, and Big Man's Wave. So, in all 3 of the games, you can actually see the idols standing there in their newsroom after, you know, delivering the news in Inkopolis Square or Spotsville. And if you actually go into the window and, you know, stand there for a bit, they actually wave back to you, which is really cool. But I know what they did on the IMS review. They did not do any bad stuff, but you know, at least you can be parasocial with the idols. Though I know a few of my friends that are even more than parasocial with the idols. Inkopolis Plaza is visible from Inkopolis Square. So since Splatoon 1 and 2 take place in Inkopolis, in Inkopolis Square or Plaza, you can actually see the freaking square and stuff. Like you can kind of see it, and it kind of makes sense because Splatoon 1 and 2 takes place in the same city, so yeah, that's like going to Detroit, and it takes place in Ford Field, and then the next location it takes place in what was that, Tiger Stadium? And then the next game it takes place in Little Caesars Arena. Like, yeah, you're still in Detroit. Inkling Skull Bandana. This is the most iconic headgear in Splatoon, or one of the most iconic out there. I don't know why it's on this Iceberg, other than it, well, being well known even to people who haven't played Splatoon. I think when I see this, they're either A, an ex-Call of Duty player that's used to not saying slurs, or B, a tryhard. There's no in between. Yeah. Sunken Scrolls lore. I'm gonna admit, most of this Iceberg is basically from this entry. You see, in the story mode, you can actually collect the Sunken Scrolls in all 3 of the story mode, and each of them has like a specific detail about the world building in this game. Like, they didn't have to go this crazy on a game where you're just shooting ink at each other, but they did. And I could just tell you some of the things. Basically, Splatoon takes place after humans went extinct, and when water levels rise, it led for, it really just had most of sea creatures just fighting for, like, land and stuff and all that. It's actually darker than I might make it seem, but if you actually go into it, Splatoon's story is kind of dark, and I'm actually impressed with the world building, even if it's just from the first game. The Squid Sisters aren't sisters. That is actually correct. They're actually cousins. Yeah, Callie Marie. It's like if me and my sibling, or me and my cousin just, had an idol group together. But yeah, they're actually cousins. Apparently the reason I think I'm actually going to steal Sunflower's interpretation with this one. If you don't know, Sunflower is a YouTuber that used to do icebergs, but now does analog horror. Not like making them, but discuss analog horror, and I still watch him to this day. But basically what he said back on his Splatoon Iceberg, this is a different one by the way, he said that Squid Sisters seems like a more remarkable stage name, and honestly, yeah, I could see that. But up until now, how did you know, how many of you guys knew they were cousins before? Because I actually didn't know this, because that was also on that Iceberg. Jellyfish poking out the ground. I think it's here as a joke entry, but yeah, sometimes in Necropolis Square, I think Spotsville, you can actually see some octopus just, the squid, those freaking squid things poking on the ground. I don't think there's like any like real life correlation to actually jellyfish actually doing that, but just, you're just poking on the ground, I don't know. People thought it was funny, and honestly, yeah, I think this is a joke entry though. Adult Inklings. Okay, this is kind of a theory. So, in Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, you play as a kid, though I think the thing that's really interesting is that if you actually look between the characters' models and stuff, they look older and taller and stuff. So, in Splatoon 1, they're like straight up kids, and in Splatoon 2, they're like, what was it? Preteens? Preteens, yeah. And I think in 3, they're like straight up teenagers and stuff. There's lots of theories on why there's no adult Inklings, because when you play as, play in the game, you're a kid, you're a squid. Of course. So, the question is, where do the adult Inklings go? I have two, actually, yeah, I have 2 ways of how this goes. Either 1, they go to college, school, go to job, do adult stuff. Or 2, they go into the pro leagues. Like, there's like, it's actually broadcast and it's like a whole sport and stuff, and this is like training for it. Honestly, I think an Inkling's life is either 2 things. They either go to school, live a boring life, and have to take jobs. Otherwise, basically just, Inklings with Mexican or Asian parents. And then you got ones that are training to be pro. And if you fail, well, I hope a job application is right for you. But that's my take on it. I think either adult Inklings are either living normal lives and having, jobs and stuff, or going pro with this turf war stuff. And honestly, I could see some celebrity Inklings out there and stuff. That's just my take, though. No bones. So, squids don't have bones, of course. So why do Inklings have, function in their arms and legs and stuff? Apparently it's explained because their ink, makes their bone, inks, their ink acts like their bones inside of them. Which honestly kind of makes sense, and when they're dried out, you freaking just die and stuff, but yeah, it's more of a theory though, because, Inklings are inklings, they're squids, and squids don't have bones, but yeah, it's a weird theory. I think it was already confirmed that it was the ink that supports them. Their ink is strong enough to hold your body, I guess. Big doors in Deep Sea Metro. So in the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion, but I can't believe it's been this long since I mentioned this DLC. Yeah, there are hugely big doors in this world. I think it's probably just an oversight because, yeah, but honestly, I think my theory is that, since squids are small and stuff, Inklings are probably very small, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't know, maybe it was just left there after humans went extinct, but hey, that's just a theory, actually objective fact, if I'm being honest, because, have you seen a squid? They're really tiny, so I think it would make sense, right? Squid parties. At first I didn't know what this was until I had to Reddit it. I don't have a Reddit account, I swear, but apparently it's a group of trolls and four players go into a lobby and then they troll and stuff, and that's really it. At least that's what I read from the community. I'll probably ask my boyfriend about that later, but I think that's really is, and if you do that, you're an asshole. Sunken Scrolls Doodles. Honestly, these are just drawings from the Sunken Scrolls. I think the reason they're on here because some can be a little bit uncanny, especially if you factor in the lore of Splatoon, so yeah, they can be a little bit cryptic. The final Splatfest dictates the theme of the next Splatoon game. So far, this has been true. So, the first Splatfest was Callie and Marie. Marie won, and, yeah, so in the story mode in Splatoon 2, you have to save, Callie, and Marie is safe and stuff. But yeah, Callie got brainwashed by Octolings, and then you had to fight her and stuff, so that makes sense. In Splatoon 2, it was Past versus Future. No, it was Chaos versus Order. What the hell is wrong with me? But yeah. Chaos won, and it kinda makes sense. Splatoon 3 seems like something out of Mad Max, because, the first stage they introduced was, this desert place that looks something out of Mad Max. And if you actually look at Atlanta, yeah, that's pretty chaotic. And then you have to fight the Order, I guess, because, yeah, and stuff, so that makes sense. And then, I think, yeah, Splatoon 3's Splatfest was Past, Future, and Present. And let's see what we got, who won. Yeah, Past won, which actually does make sense, because the next Splatoon game, I think my boyfriend said that it's not going to be a multiplayer one like Splatoon 1 and 3, 1 to 3. It's going to be more of a story mode game. But yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. I think it takes place in the past, or at least gives us some extra lore and stuff. Oh yeah, Splatoon Raiders is coming out. Can't wait for that to outdate this fucking Iceberg. Though I couldn't, look up a Splatoon Raiders Iceberg. Yeah, I think I'll do that. But, yeah, so far, this has been very true. And honestly, I wish it keeps going. Imagine if Call of Duty is more realistic. Never mind. Well, not anymore. What do you mean I'm playing as Seth Rogen and Beavis and Butthead? Woomy. Woomy is the sound that Inklings make, except it's not spelled like that. It's actually says like this. Woomy! How's that impression? Thanks. There's also Vimo, which is what the female Octoling said. Nay, yes is what the boy Inklings say, and then Wefis, or whatever the heck the Octoling boys say. I can't pronounce that, but yeah, it's their iconic sound and stuff, and when I used to main Inkling and Smash, I'd spam that taunt all over the place. So yeah. Boss of Splatoon 2 campaign mode. apparently this is labeled under theories, which I think before Splatoon 2 came out, we didn't know what the final boss was until, it was obviously Callie and DJ Activio. It didn't say anything about the Octo expansion, which honestly I can't wait to talk more about that mode, because honestly anything from the Octo expansion is so freaking uncanny. And I think we're going to talk about those later down the Iceberg, and I can't wait to say that, but really this is just speculation. Let's just move on. Inklings are not smart. Honestly, this could be debatable, but I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, if you take the kids out of school, of course they're not, of course they're not going to be smart. But, I mean, there's a lot of factors, like, actually, I can't really find any way to prove this right. Maybe because when Octolings suddenly appeared in Inkopolis Square, they're like, okay, so there's either two things. Inklings are stupid, or they just don't believe in racism. And I would like to believe that they don't believe in racism. But, yeah, but from other, like, meme portrayals, yeah, I could see some Inklings being stupid. I mean, what do they do all day? They hang out with their friends and they ink each other in turf mode. I mean, what about strategy and stuff? But, yeah, I could definitely see Inklings being not that smart when, Octolings just suddenly invade Inkopolis. They're like, oh. Or maybe they're just not racist, I don't know. Pearl says fuck. Now, I know this isn't that too unsurprising that this is probably on the Iceberg, but keep in mind this series is mainly for kids. Yeah, I love it. Anyway, in the song on Dudes Be Sleeping demo, it's very vulgar and stuff. In fact, there's a few lyrics that are censored and stuff. Now, fun fact about this song was an instant fail. I think it only sold 1,000 copies. Which, honestly, I would love those numbers. But for, someone that's, established and behind a record label, that is equivalent of one view on YouTube. So, yikes. But, yeah, in the song, she says fuck, but censored. And, yeah. Apparently, what really hurt it is that it wasn't able to be played on the radio, which I guess staggered sales and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. The Great Zapfish Easter egg. I already did talk about this in the first entry. However, sometimes, rarely, if you look at Inkopolis, when you see the Zapfish, sometimes it will just be flying around the city, which that's pretty cool. I'm glad it's gained some free time after slaving, to power your phones, you stupid Inkling. Okay, I am being too harsh on the Inklings. But, yeah, there are some Easter eggs. I already talked about one in the first entries, and just talked about another, so let's just move on. Octolings are brainwashed. This is actually not that bad of a theory, actually, if you think about it. Maybe there's a reason Inklings just look at Octolings in the Inkopolis Plaza and be like, oh, man, I lost my race. Okay, I'm taking it too far. But, yeah, if you actually look at the character models for Splatoon 1 and 2, and when you see the Octolings, you can see they have those shades on similar to what Callie had, which are her Hypnos shades. So, it leads me to believe that Octolings are actually friendly like Inklings, but they're brainwashed with those glasses and stuff. Which actually does make a lot of sense, they look the same and stuff. So, honestly, this is actually very true. Marina is an Octoling. No shit. Alright, so when Splatoon 2 came out, the new idols were different. Instead of Callie and Marie, we got Pearl and Marina. And at first, people didn't like them, at least from what I've heard. But yeah, people just didn't like them because, I don't know, because Pearl's short and Marina's an Octoling or something, or maybe people are just racist or something, but after a while, people actually got used to the idols. In fact, a lot of people think they're lesbians. I mean, honestly, I love Yuri. Anyway, but yeah, Marina is obviously an Octoling, and for some reason, the Inklings just don't give a shit. But then we already established that Octolings are brainwashed, so the only reason we're fighting this because, they're fighting us first. So maybe they just didn't have racism at first, and it was actually those damn glasses. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Splatoon manga. Splatoon does have an official manga and stuff. I never bothered to read it. If I probably ask my boyfriend, I'm pretty sure he probably owns some. I'm not sure, though, but... well, a lot of it is just more lore to Splatoon. But, yeah, Splatoon has an official manga by Nintendo. Gendered hair no longer exists. Oh, this is going to rile up the right-wingers. Anyway, in Splatoon 1 and 2, you obviously chose your gender and stuff, and select from those hairstyles. Now, a lot of my friends, who were boys, chose the girl all the time. And they said they liked the hair. You know, fair enough. But when Splatoon 3 came into the mix, I believe you don't select your gender at all, but instead just choose from a variety from of hairstyles. First, instead of if you're choosing a boy or a girl, instead they choose if you're Inkling or Octoling, and then give you all the hairstyles and stuff, which that's pretty based. I remember one time, I remember last year. So the Switch 2 came out, right? And then the meme maker was still there. People were so angry because instead of saying select your gender, it said select your style. And people got all pissed about it. It's a fucking game system. Hologram concerts. So back in the day, from 2015 to 2020, Nintendo used to host these Vocaloid-like hologram concerts. You know Hatsune Miku and those Vocaloid concerts and stuff? Well, they did that, but with the idols, which was really cool, and I kind of wish I saw them. But unfortunately, I was destined to live here in the States. The only good part of the States, but what the fuck, Japan? Give us a bone! Why are you giving us the fucking scraps? I know we bombed you guys twice, but please! I wasn't part of that! I was just happened to be born in Texas! Raised in the Great Lakes! Anyway, they actually do look very fun. They did have to cancel them for a moment. Are they still canceled? Let's see. Oh, they came back for a while. So yeah, since 2020, COVID and all that ruined all of us. Thank you, COVID. Fuck you, COVID. They actually started them up back in 2022 with the release of Splatoon 3, and another one in 2024. I hope they do start one. I kind of want to bring my boyfriend to one. That would be actually fucking awesome. I think he would enjoy that. Upside Down Eiffel Tower. So, in Splatoon 3, when they announced the game, you actually walk past a upside down Eiffel Tower, which, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the game's set in freaking Paris and stuff. But yeah, it's actually still in the story mode and stuff. But everyone was kind of speculated on how this game could be, since KS won the last Splatfest. It was going to be like this Mad Max sort of thing, but honestly, that's kind of half right. The game still looks kind of civilized and stuff, which is kind of odd, but yeah, there were a lot of theories with this upside down Paris and stuff. Upside down Eiffel Tower, which I'm pretty sure everyone loves this because everyone hates France for some reason. Why does everyone hate France? Can we can I get a second look at it? I know there's a reason to hate Americans because we're annoying and stupid and all we do is shoot shotguns and stuff, and hate gay people, which no, I love gay people. I am gay myself. Anyway, but why are we hating on the French? What the fuck did the French do? I love baguettes. Tartar's professor was Jar Jar's owner. Alright, there's a lot of things we need to break down. So Tartar is the main villain of Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. Sorry for spoiling an expansion pack that's 8 years old. Well, 7. Actually, it's alright. Yeah, 8 years old. My fucking bad. Anyway, the professor who made Tartar actually owned Judd. You know, the cat that, tells you how shit you've done in your game and stuff. So, yeah, he owned the cat. and then cryomized that cat for years and basically pulled a Disney, except that cat survived and Disney is fucking dead. I mean, despite him being racist, if Disney saw what Disney is now, he would have a fucking heart attack and actually die on the spot. The calamari incantation, as I said, can undo brainwashing. So far, this is actually true. Calamari incantation is apparently the Squid Sisters' most popular song, though honestly, in my opinion, it should be Ink Me Up, but hey, we don't all have, we all can have shit music takes. Anyway, this song can actually undo brainwashing. In Splatoon 2, Marie was actually singing that song, and then it made Callie be like, "Oh shit, I'm fighting for the wrong side. Let me switch teams again." But yeah, the song is proven to undo brainwashing. Though honestly, I don't really get it because I mean, it's not a bad song, but I really hate when I really hate general music because either it's good at first, but then they play it too much, or it's mid as fuck! Sorry, it's just, I'm very passionate when it comes to music. Boss battle sounds. Scary. Honestly, when I actually first learned about this, even before I even played Splatoon, I was kind of horrified. So, back in Splatoon 1, after you defeat a boss and you can collect the Zapfish, if you actually, don't do anything, after a while, unexplained sounds and scary sounds can play. This also does happen in Splatoon 2, but only if you're fighting against the Great Samurai, I think. There's a deep cut for you. Fucking sorry. But, there is actually a lot of theories before. Now, at first, before the Octo expansion, people thought, there was just the workers being, worked to death, and it's their sounds of their moaning and stuff. Even the sound director was like, I don't know what the heck was happening. Something's fucked up when even the sound director doesn't know that, how fucked up this sounds. Anyway, a lot of theories have actually turned to the Octo expansion, because, Deep Sea Metro is down there, and the boss fight arenas are suspiciously next to it. People theorize that the sounds are actually the Octo expansion combatants failing their channels and dying, and that's all you hear. Because keep in mind, back in the Octo expansion, you're the 1000th or 8000th. There was a lot of people before you that died very brutally in the Octo expansion before you. So, yeah. And yeah, Splatoon is a really fucked up game. Holy crap, let's move on to something better. Splatoon is a post-apocalyptic shooter. Come on, can we just have something happy? But this is actually true. Back in Splatoon 1, if you actually do read the Sunken Scrolls, which I pointed out, humans did go extinct a long time ago due to rising flood warnings from nuclear war. Come on, don't start World War III right now. But yeah, thanks to Kim Jong-un and Trump's missiles and everyone else's bombing each other and stuff, and eventually bombing Antarctica, which, why the fuck are you bombing Antarctica? What the fuck? It would lead to rising sea levels, causing all of us to either be nuked, or if we survived, drowning or dying from radiation and stuff. And then the squids took our place. So, the message here is, stop nuking and make peace, damn it! Humans are extinct. Already did talked about this, but yeah, in this world, no humans. Which honestly is kind of for the best, because if I'm going to be honest, as a species, we kind of suck. The Great Turf War. This is actually a war that actually kind of feels similar to one of the world wars from US history, or all history, because World War, where there was this giant turf war after established societies happened. So then they just had a giant war with the Inklings and the Octolings and stuff, because there weren't enough land to claim. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? But, yeah. It was this giant war that was probably as big as World War II, if we're gonna be honest. Are there, countries in Splatoon? Well, obviously, because, you know, it takes place in our world in the way far future. But I'm just saying, is there, like, actual, like, remaining countries and stuff? Because if I'm going to be honest with you, I think, honestly, if there were a good society, they should get rid of America. Like here, like, what's here? Like, everything's so gray. Damn. But, yeah, it was like it was basically the Splatoon version of the World Wars. Lobby posts. So, in all Splatoon games, in Splatoon 1, it was actually connected to Miiverse, where you can actually, like, post stuff, mainly text and stuff. But you actually can draw your own things. In Splatoon 2 and 3, you can't really text because Miiverse isn't, you know, on the Switch. So the best you could do is draw little messages and stuff, and honestly, I've seen some wholesome stuff. Like, when a new game gets announced during this time, everyone is excited about it and drew fan art. And honestly, these fucking people are fucking talented. Like, how you draw with those limited creations? I can't draw with a cursor. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't draw with a cursor. Yet these motherfuckers are just making Picasso level, Leonardo da Vinci level drawings with these tools. Like, how, like, did you spend 5 hours on Splatoon just by doing that? Oh my gosh. But honestly, yeah. Though I've seen some very interesting art. I saw people draw porn in Splatoon. Anyway, let's just move on. Region exclusive gear designed by Koro and Famitsu. So Koro and Famitsu are apparently fictional brands in Splatoon. I think one of them is, but they actually are real world companies in Japan, and only in Japan because, you know, fuck the US. Good, we deserve that. There was actually exclusive gear by artists and stuff, and whoever won that contest by making, like, the best gear in Splatoon, it would be put in the game. Only exclusive in Japan, though, because, you know, I mean, we knew. Okay, enough talking about World War II. All right, we're done. Starting forever. I'm not talking about World War II. We still deserve not getting those gear, but yeah. Honestly, there are a lot of gear that are just exclusive. Like, I feel bad for any completionists that wants to get all the gear in Splatoon ever, and they realize, dang, I actually gotta move to Japan and own another Switch so I can get that gear, and then, you know, I need to go on a tangent. Why can't gear just be bought? Like, why can't we just have a shop with all the gear right there, and then when we have enough coins, or if we're good enough, we unlock it? Like, fuck this FOMO stuff. Fuck this Battle Pass stuff. Fuck this limited time run stuff. Like, I get it, it's for the money, though this is a special case, because you don't really, like, have to spend extra money. The only DLC in Splatoon ever are their side story modes that are harder than the originals. But can we fucking stop this? Why can't we just have a shop with everything? No region exclusives, no special perks. Like, if you want to feel like you want to make the thing exclusive, I don't know, put an achievement behind it. Damn it! Come on, why can't we just have gear to show that you're good at the game? Instead of, you know, oh, I won this contest back in 2022. Like, come on! Why can't we just all have an opportunity to own gear? Damn! I just want to customize my Inkling however I want. And if I have to be skilled enough, so fucking be it! That's how games were back then, damn it! Sorry, it's just, I just want all the gear in Splatoon, but I don't have the time, and fuck FOMO. Fictional language. Alright, so I'm going to be honest with you. There is, like, no way to decode this language from Splatoon. Like, in two other places, the word cat is spelled differently. So, actually, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, Splatoon has a fictional language. Mainly, it's just gargled up Japanese and stuff. And I know cat is spelled different in two places, but as someone who is Mexican American. Anyway, as someone who is a Mexican American, I actually do have I can definitely see why it is. You see, there are two types of Spanishes. There's Spanish from Mexico and Spanish from Maine. From Spain. Why did I say Maine? The reason I bring this up because there's actually two versions of we. There's the Mexican version, nosotros, and then Spain version, vosotros. Vosotros. I think it's just the same but with V. So maybe it's just like that. You know, maybe there's some Mexican in it. But yeah, that's just my take on it. So I don't think it's inconsistent. I think it's just Japanese that's following Spanish rules or something. Look, language is weird, right? Like, apparently I've heard that English is the easiest language ever. And I was about to say, no, it's not. But, you know, if you grew up speaking that language, you know, of course it's going to seem easy. Because, you know, you grew up learning it your whole life. So, maybe English is the hardest language. And honestly, with so much bullshit I had to deal with in English class, that actually does make sense. Nintendo posters and stages. Cake, if you're watching this, can you please explain to me what this is? I know you're not active on Discord a lot. Like we talk 1 or 3 times a day, but can you please tell me what the heck this means? But in my interpretation, I think in some Splatoon stages there's like Nintendo posters, which in that the case, why are you two-handing yourself, Nintendo? Like, why are you looking yourself, Nintendo? You're two-handing yourself. Take your hand off it. This actually is kind of funny, because in my local Burger King, there's like a TV that plays America's Funniest Videos, right? And every fucking commercial is a Burger King ad. Like, stop two-handing yourself. We get it. You exist. Splatfest gear. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I get that each gear has like special properties, but I don't wear gear because it has like special marks. I wear gear because I look awesome in it. I don't give a fuck about perks, though that will probably kill me in Splatoon if I'm being honest. Maybe that's why I suck, because I was taking advantage of the perks. But yeah, in Splatoon, if you pick a Splatfest, you get the Splatfest t-shirt repping your team. There are actually some exclusive gear that you can win in other Splatfests. For example, in the Halloween one, you can get this witch costume and these horns and stuff and just other stuff. In the past, in the chaotic and order Splatfest, you can get these glasses and this eye helmet, which honestly, I love this. Like, this is freaking cool. But yeah, in Splatfest, there's exclusive gear, including the t-shirt that you get from picking a side. And I find these kind of not fashionable. Like, they're just fucking t-shirts. Like, I got the like, my main gear is the fucking Kenzo jacket. This here, I'm repping this. It's so me. English warning signs in the ruins of Arc Polaris. So I just have to assume that every stage in Splatoon, every map in Splatoon, probably takes place around the world, because, you know, in Splatsville you're like in Paris, and I guess in Salmon Run you're in the US. But yeah, it's kind of weird how every poster in Splatoon, right, is in this fake language. But then you got this English text in a Splatoon map, which I know I talked about, you know, more existential stuff already. But, you know, it makes me wonder. Sometimes there's just stuff that proves that there is another species before us. And we don't even know. That evidence could just, you know, maybe that's just the only evidence that humans, you know, existed. We don't know. You know, there could be many of civilizations that just fucking died out. And honestly, and I don't want to fucking scare all of you guys, but we are one asteroid hit. We are like one like bad thing from like wiping us out. You think humans are gonna live forever? Fuck no. So far we've been doing good, but you know, all things die out eventually. I don't want to get existential, but that's kind of the cold truth. So hopefully I'll be long gone by then, so who cares? You're a kid, you're a squid. This is just from the Splatoon commercial where he says, you're a kid now, you're a squid now, you're a kid, you're a squid, you're a kid, you're... Oh my gosh. You know, now that I think about it, this song is starting to get fucking annoying. But yeah, it's just you know, lyrics from the opening song that's quoted a lot in the Splatoon community. I don't know why it's so down here, but it's here. Better late than never. Golden eggs are salmon babies. Which, yeah, I mean, if you actually look at them, those are actually babies and stuff. And yeah. The point of a salmon run is just stealing salmon's babies and then collecting them for profit. America! Like, seriously, what the frick is this mode? Like, Salmon Run, I played Salmon Run back in Splatoon 2, and it was already chaotic. And then I see Splatoon 3 Salmon Run, and I'm like, fuck that. How do you do that? How do you do that? But, yeah, you are obviously stealing babies. I mean, what's not to love? You're stealing babies? That sounds so fucked up. But you're stealing babies. Why? But yeah, I do like the concept is that we're stealing in our, you know, animals' babies for profit. Like, isn't this what capitalism is? Octoling hackers. So, in Splatoon 1, I think this is what it's referring to. So in Splatoon 1, you can't play as an octoling. Like, no shit. But apparently there's, like, code with the Inklings. For I think for 0, it's girl, and then for 1, it's boy. But apparently if you have, like, a code thing that is 2, you can actually play as an octoling. Now, the reason it's called octoling hackers is because you actually have to hack your game to actually play as an octoling. However, the code was super unstable because if you're in, like, a group with an octoling, your game will crash. And that's not good. There is a simple exploit, apparently, if you play as an octoling, that works every time, so... Yeah, but ain't nobody playing Splatoon 1. I was literally in the retro store, right? And I was getting Kingdom Hearts and College Football 11, and what else did I get? Mafia 3, right? And then I saw, yeah, the Wii U section, and I saw Splatoon 1. I'm like, who the frick is playing Splatoon 1? Honestly, that actually, I'm being too harsh. Inking their spot zone. So I had to research this, and honestly, I kind of wish I guessed and stuff. Actually doing my fucking job here, but in the invisibility and whatever Splatfest, I don't know, Invisity would probably win. Marina said that with invisibility, you can spy on people while they're inking their spot zone. I mean, I knew Marina was a freak, but damn, like, what the frick? I'm gonna try that with my boyfriend. No, I'm not. I'm not. No. Wait, what does that even mean? Like, does that mean, like, peeing? Or, like, spying on someone while peeing in the bathroom? Ugh, no, I don't want to see that. What the hell? Or does it mean something even dirty? Does Marina have a piss fetish? What the... Wow. How did I go? How did I go from graduating high school to questioning if Marina has a piss fetish? What the fuck is my life? Friendship bracelet. I actually do have this because I thought it looked cool. But yeah, in Splatoon, you can't really like be footless and stuff. You have to wear shoes. However, there is one item called the friendship bracelet where you just walk around barefoot. And all the freaks in the comments section, fucking keep it to yourself. But honestly, I just like how cool it looks. I repeat, all the freaks in the comments section, keep it to yourself. Relationship chart. Yeah, it's just a bunch of charts of people explaining why these characters are this and that and stuff. And honestly, I'm not even a shipper. Like, this is boring. Except for you freaky people. Get out! Tofu build and rabbit prototypes. Alright, so I actually did hinted at this in the beginning of the video. Back in Splatoon 1 was in development. People, you know, the developers thought, oh, let's just make a simple game for the eShop. Like, who gives a fucking stuff? So they made this game where you're playing as Tofu. And you have to shoot each other and stuff. And it was super colorful. See, you can only choose two colors. Black or white. Only if this was made in America, that would be the game. But they started out of focus and stuff. So then they made them into rabbits, and it was going to be a rabbit shooting game. which of course didn't really pan out. And then they thought, well, if we put Mario characters in the game, like we had enough of fucking Mario and stuff. I mean, nothing wrong with Super Mario, it's just you don't have to put Mario in like everything. You are gonna put Rob in everything though. And then they're like, oh wait, squids. Oh wait, ink. Oh wait, colors. Splatoon. And that's how they made Splatoon and stuff, which, yeah, I actually do. Guilty pleasure I had back when I was like in middle school and early high school was actually searching up how, history of games, because I wanted to be a game designer back then until my website design teacher fucked up for me. Thank you, I forgot your name, but fuck you. But I was, I was very fascinated in like history of game development and stuff. Like how in Smash Ultimate they use models from 4, but they like, put them in HD and stuff. And yeah, it was really fun, just seeing all the development and stuff. Like I already knew this, but it was fascinating for me. Fuck my website design teacher. Fuck you and fuck your pedophilic advances on the girls. Amiibo box back. So in Splatoon 1 and 2, I forgot if it was in Splatoon 3. I think it's in 3. You can actually go up to this Amiibo box and scan your Amiibo and, some extra stuff. Like, you can get some new extra stuff like photo shoot with the idols or new gear and stuff. Though, if you can't really, like, see what's in the back, but apparently it's a very full rendered back of the real life Amiibo box, which, they didn't have to do that, but it's kind of cool that they did. Love when people go above and beyond, instead of being praised for doing the bare minimum. Inklings don't recognize Octolings as another species. Oh, so they're not racist. Got it. But we already talked about this. We keep building and building on. But yeah, Hypno Shades, no racism. Yeah, all that. They're the same. After Octo expansion, they popped up and the Inklings are like, cool. So, no, the Inklings are not racist. They beat the racist allegations. Merch eats sea snails. So, for like, if you, basically just give, Merch, sea snails, you could, like, do some power buffs or whatever and stuff to your abilities. I don't really care about abilities in Splatoon when it comes to gear. But basically, if you can, like, to change or remove a ability in your gear, you can actually go to merch and you have to pay in sea snails instead of coins and stuff. And there's a theory that merch will fucking eat those things. I mean, circle of life, am I right? I don't care if they're shoveling in the back. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I mean, come on, if dinosaurs exist, we'd be fucked. Fourth wall breaks. Yeah, in Splatoon there's fourth wall breaks. I'm not even going into any details, just they happen. Pearlina. Waiting day X for Pearlina DLC. I think this is probably referring to Splatoon 3, where if you saw the direct, they were mentioning a DLC and showed silhouettes of 2 familiar characters. Everyone already guessed that it was obviously, Pearl Marina and stuff. So people were waiting for that to be the DLC. Also, people were waiting for that because, Pearl and Marina, I'm just gonna steal a joke from Sunflower. They're like, a duo in the streets and a Splatfest in the sheets. I'm not even saying that with a straight face. It was too good for me to not steal it. Sorry, Sunflower, but Iceberg is not your niche anymore. It's mine now. Splatoon characters reference in Mario Maker 2. There was this one mission that's made. It's in the story mode of Mario Maker 2, I think. There are randomized level. They're levels you have to play, right? And they're made by like randomized people and stuff. One of them is Agent 1, which we know Agent 1 is Agent 1 either Callie or Marie? I'm gonna say Callie because Callie's my favorite. Can someone explain why everyone likes Marie first? I don't know, I just find the color pink very attractive. Though, I mean, green is, I guess, a little bit better because, Agent, it was a level made by Agent 1. Splatoon fans flipped. I didn't catch it because, you know, I wasn't tapped into the lore back then, but yeah, that's all Wojak at the vague reference. Sanitized octolings are zombies. I actually did like this point right here. So in Splatoon Octo Expansion, the octolings look very different. They look more green and zombie-like. Because apparently they're sanitized and stuff. Which apparently is like an infection, and it turns them into zombies. Not like the typical Walking Dead zombies, but the ones that are like mind-controlled and can still function, but like, sorta. There's also this character, Deadfish. I forgot their name, but they do show up in the side order, who is part sanitized. In fact, they actually do have an album from the Octo Expansion where they talk about their experience being sanitized. But that's a theory, and honestly I think this is also an entry later down the Iceberg. So I'll go more in depth with it later. But yeah. Deadfish is better than DJ Khaled, in my opinion. The rest of Inkopolis. So, from like many hints from Nintendo, Inkopolis is like very huge. And we've only like discovered only 2 parts of it. Mainly the one from Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. But if you actually do looks, but Inkopolis is like freaking huge and stuff. And it's kind of a bummer that we don't really get to explore it. Oh, hear me out, hear me out. What if I predict this? In Splatoon Raiders, there's an area where you can free roam Inkopolis. You know, like kind of like a sandbox, kind of. Honestly, judging from, you know, how Mario and Zelda like blew up more because of their sandbox levels of gaming, I feel like Splatoon Raiders will probably have a sandbox approach. So hear me out. You can actually free roam Inkopolis later in the game. That's a theory, and if I prove it right, that would be pretty cool. I feel like Nintendo would pull that stuff off. Splatoon 1 Octoling hacked. I actually did talk about this. Guess it was referring to something else. Maybe it was because people played as Octolings and were hacking stuff and spamming specials and stuff, which if you do that, go fuck yourself. Let me play my game. Moai lockers / meme lockers. So in Splatoon 3, you can have your own locker and customize it. And if you actually play with other people recently, you can actually go and see their lockers. And this game released back in 2022 with Splatoon 3. And the Moai emoji was starting to become a popular meme. So that people just made freaking memes about it and stuff. I don't remember what my locker was, but mine is just my gear and my jacket and stuff. Yeah, I am kind of simple. Also, I don't know why, but I think I remember someone discussing lockers in a video and said that some of them were like so bad to look at or something like that. Like, however, when people like talk about stuff, they always talk like it killed their grandma or it's so bad I can't see it. I'm desensitized as fuck. I can handle anything. Let me show it, you coward. Weaponry designs. This is actually self-explanatory. One good example is the Splash Shot, which is like the starter weapon of every Splatoon. Well, that goes to Splash Shot Jr., but the most iconic weapon in Splatoon is the Splash Shot. In Splatoon 1, it looked like this. In fact, I actually have my own replica of it. In fact, I'm going to post out my Blue Sky, and I'll show you how fast I am when it comes to making videos. So you can see, you know, how things are. But yeah, I just posted it on Blue Sky. Then there's Splatoon 2, which, yeah, can I even remember it? It was just, I mean, it looked okay. And then, I'm going to be honest with you, Splatoon 3's version looks goofy as hell. Like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't like this. What the fuck? Like all the, at least they didn't at least they didn't do my dualies dirty, but what the heck? This looks goofy as fuck! Player projections. I searched this up, I got nothing. I'm sorry. I don't have access to the owner because I'm not a Nepo baby. Mr. Grizz's reveal. Alright, this was like a huge mystery back when Splatoon 2 actually even started releasing. So, in Salmon Run, your boss is Mr. Grizz, who is this guy. holding a microphone next to this bear statue. Now, before I discuss the final boss of Splatoon 3, I'm not going to say spoilers, because Splatoon 3 is almost a 4-year-old game. Like, dude, play games after watching this video. Or you can listen to this while you're playing video games, which honestly is probably the right way to do. Anyway, my theory was Mr. Grizz was just an older inkling with a long beard and stuff. A very, well, I mean, to be fair, he's starting a business where you're stealing baby salmon eggs, but, you know, other than that, I would like to think this is just some wholesome old man that is hip with the kids, you know, just, you know, a Jiraiya type of character. You know, Jiraiya from Naruto, the, you know, may seem like a pervert, but he means well. You know, that kind of guy. Then we go to Splatoon 3, which I actually have played and finished the story mode. And you're fighting against this fucking bear. Mr. Grizz is actually a freaking bear and wants to turn all the inklings into furries. That's literally it. Actually, I'm going to admit the final fight with Mr. Grizz was kind of hard, admittedly. But, yeah, he's a fucking bear. Come on, you could have gone with my idea. I want to see a whole... Come on. I mean, I know we have Captain Cuttlefish, but it's not really all there in the head. I think he has dementia. Alterna. Alterna is the main place you go in Splatoon 3's story mode, where at first it takes place in this snowy isle, and also Agent 3's Captain. Huh, no wonder my boyfriend chose Captain as a name in Tomodachi Life. I chose Top Dog, by the way. Anyway, but yeah, Alterna was like this kind of abandoned research facility that apparently was here way long before and stuff. And honestly, yeah, I'm staying away from this place because even without the whole, you know, lore of Splatoon, this place is just freaking unnerving. Like, it's a freaking space shuttle, but it looks so freaking scary. And especially if you go up the levels, the song gets, you know, at least hopeful at first, and then it gets all distorted. It's just, ugh. Yeah, Eternal's a fucked up place. Hidden Salmon Run waves. Sometimes in Salmon Run, an extra wave happens and then you just fight a giant salmon. You know I don't care about Salmon Run. I care about killing people! In Turf Wars. Like, I still, like, eat the turf, like... Yeah, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of murder. But, yeah, there's hidden waves where you fight the giant salmonids. And honestly... Yeah, I cannot handle that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd rather be carried. I'm not handling that. Free online for 7 days. Now, this is actually more related to Nintendo Switch Online than Splatoon. But, fuck that bullshit. Like, remember when, actually, I think my brother did that and it actually worked without him using a credit card, so... Never mind, but... Yeah, in Nintendo Switch Online, you get free online for 7 days. You know, did you know, in Splatoon 1... playing online was free? Did you know when Splatoon 2 just came out, all the way until 2019, online was free? Like, seriously, when I first saw that online you had to pay for online in that Nintendo Switch Direct, I wanted to throw my phone. You're not Sony, Nintendo. Stop pretending you're Sony. You didn't make Little Big Planet. Though you did make Tomodachi Life 2, which actually feels like it's Little Big Planet, so I'll give you a little bit pass. But I'm not a blind fanboy. Motion control only in Splatoon 3 tutorial. So in Splatoon, you can play with motion controls, or you can play it like Call of Duty where you just use your analog stick. I actually do play with motion controls because it's way easier. In fact, Overwatch 2 just implemented that feature. But apparently in Splatoon 3, this doesn't even make sense. Like, you can still play with motion controls in Splatoon 3. I remember doing it. I think I remember. Am I game dementia? But no. On all Splatoons, you can play with motion controls, which is cool. And it's kind of a pain if you're lying on your back playing, you know, like that. But just turn off the gyro controls. It's right there. Judd is immortal. That is actually true. I don't know how he became immortal. He was just cryolyzed, and then he just lives forever. He's cat skips, which is cool because he's seen this before. Ink Octoling glitch. So in shops in like Splatoon 2, any of these games, apparently you can like switch your Octoling with Inkling here if you do like a certain glitch in shops. I've seen some images. That is really weird and sort of uncomfortable. You know, maybe snook this whole generation. What the heck is going on? Little Judd is a clone. That's true. Yeah, Judd got cloned using a clone machine, and then there's Little Judd. He pisses me off. Koroaka. Koroaka is apparently the art style used in the Splatoon manga. I searched up in Google Images, and it was a huge mistake because I saw a fucking image of Kelly pulling down Marine's pants down. Her private's is censored, but that's enough internet today. Fuck that. Yo, is this manga freaky? Why is this manga freaky? These are kids. Well, I mean, Kelly and Marine are adults, but I'm just saying, like, jeez. Like Rich Love said, get your freak ass on out of here. Inklings and Octolings can't swim in water despite them being sea creatures. Yeah, that's the thing that's really messing me up. There is apparently a scientific reason why that's... Why did I sound so nerdy? There is a scientific reason why that's it. So like Inklings can like dip their feet into water, right? But they can't like submerge their whole body in water because the ink in them will disintegrate or just won't mix with water. I mean, it's like oil, it doesn't mix well. Basically, it'll just dehydrate the ink sac and then die and stuff like that. Also, if you actually see their animations when they drop in water, Inklings cannot swim. Yeah. I also like how in Super Smash Bros., if you play as an Inkling and go into the water, you don't automatically die, but you do take damage from water, which is a nice detail. Splatoon 1 apartment. Okay, what I like about video games is just areas that look like you can go into, but you can't. And yeah, this is actually the first thing you see when booting up Splatoon 1. As you can see, it's your, I think supposed to be the player's apartment with posters and decorations and stuff. And I kind of wish this was a thing in any of Splatoon. Now, they did start off small because in Splatoon 3 you get to decorate your own lockers and stuff. But it would be so freaking cool to have your own apartment in this game. Especially since, where do the Inklings sleep? But I feel like, actually, that would be pretty cool if Raiders had like, like I mentioned, it would be pretty cool if Inkopolis was like a map they can explore. And maybe you can actually like have your own apartment that you can decorate and stuff. And then if you have save data on Splatoon Raiders, if they make Splatoon 4 for the Switch 2, it can carry on, from Raiders to Splatoon 4. Which they're capable of doing that. Like everything I had from the Tomodachi welcome version is in my own Tomodachi life, so they can do that. If they don't, call them fucking lazy. But yeah, it's just really weird that this apartment is just not accessible other than it being the title of this game. Because it would be so cool to own your own apartment and stuff. And then you could decorate however you want. You can put posters in it, you can like paint it and stuff. It would be freaking cool. Customize your own bed and bed sheets. It's really cool. Have other players check it out and stuff and say, wow, you need to organize your room. But yeah, it's just really weird, Octotune bonus track. So you can actually like get full CDs from the Splatoon series. Which, first of all, how do you get these? Like, do you get them online? Do you get them at the official Nintendo stores, like the ones in New York or Japan? Where do you get these? I wouldn't be surprised if my boyfriend owned these. Anyway, there is a bonus track that actually contains live recordings from concerts and stuff, which, yeah, those are cool. Have you actually heard Ink Me Up Live? That sounds freaking amazing, but yeah, it's just another set of bonus performances. Honestly, I don't really like bonus tracks that are just live recordings of live songs. Like, just give me new music, jeez. We Bear Bears promoting Splatoon 2. What? They did what? Okay, side tangent. I love We Bare Bears. Like, it was one of my favorite shows in middle school and high school. I still sort of watch it to this day, but I just freaking just tense when I saw that. But apparently there was a cartoon. No, what the fuck? There's a commercial where they're playing against Omnom, which is a character from the show that's voiced by Patton Oswalt. I love Patton Oswalt. And yeah, and then Iceberg just takes out dualies and just splats everywhere. It's freaking cool. In conclusion, watch We Bare Bears. It's a good show. Go get it on Hulu or HBO Max, or is it on Tubi now? I think it's on Tubi, but watch We Bare Bears. It's a good show. Octoling Power Crisis. This is kind of self-explanatory. So, the main reason DJ Octavio took the Zapfish in Splatoon 1 and 2 is mainly because the Octolings are in this rotten North Korean-like structure of a civilization where only a few have escaped, like Marina. So, yeah, of course they have limited power, so they stole the Zapfish just for that. Yeah, I like to imagine that the Octoling society is basically just North Korea, because I think it's funny. So, who's Kim Jong-un? Is it DJ Octavio? Because, honestly, it would be pretty cool if, Kim Jong-un was a DJ, just saying. He has the DJ Khaled build already. What is this video? Octo Expansion Secret Boss / Inner Agent 3. Don't know why it's so low on Tier 1 of the Iceberg, but yeah, if you actually complete all the missions in the game, not with all weapons, just complete all of them, because, in the final boss, there's still left and stuff. If you actually do complete them all, there's a glow in your locker, and it will take you to a fight with Inner Agent 3. Now, this isn't like a real battle, it's what your player thinks Agent 3 is like, and yeah, it was pretty hard. I did beat him back in middle school, but still, it was actually, I was in 9th grade, but I was still in middle school. It was a 7th through 9th grade school. It was weird. So I'll technically say I was still in middle school. Anyway, it took me a while to beat his ass, but I did it. I did break down crying a few times, though. I was in middle school, technically. Splatoon 1, Squid Sisters amiibo performances. Let me research that. So, in the original Splatoon, you can summon Kelly or Marie into the amiibo. And basically, you can choose any song to play it, and it will just turn the plaza into a Splatfest, basically. Which is pretty cool. And then I scrolled through the videos, and then I saw a video that says, "You're an adult now, Splatoon 1 to 3. Thanks for giving me existentialism. I didn't know I was gonna die so early. Jeez. Then again, this whole video has been existential. Can we get something lighthearted in this so what lighthearted game? Now I think about it, Splatoon is one of the, those mascot horror games that are so squeaky and kitty outside, but then it turns dark and you're sick of it? I think Splatoon is one of those games. And they're doing it right. Thank you, Nintendo. You always find a way to make me lick your boot. It's funny because we live in a simulation and free will is a lie. Okay, so back in the Splatfest on the chicken versus the egg, obviously it's chicken because I'm a Christian and God made chicken first, so take that. Though I'm pretty sure there's going to someone prove to me that science exists and whatever, but yeah. And no, I'm not those fake Christians that hates minorities. Literally, the Bible says love everyone, damn it. Anyway, enough with that. So, yeah, Marina literally just said that. And honestly, yeah, free will is kind of a lie, for being honest. Like, how am I supposed to live my life if I'm paying taxes? Though I don't have a job, so that's fine. But this is just... This Iceberg chart keeps getting existential. Like, you think you're feeling pain? I'm feeling something. It's not good, but it's something. Squid Game memes. Jesus freaking Christ. Alright. So, Splatoon is full of squids, right? And then, Squid Game came out. Season 1 came out in 2021. Then people made jokes about it. In fact, SMG4 did it with Mario was in Squid Game. But you know, Squid's games and stuff. Yeah, honestly, you should watch Squid Game if you like more existential horror, or just death game horror. Then yeah. Also, I recommend you playing Danganronpa. It's on my wish list, so I'll plan on playing it soon. Viantastic, I think that's how you say his name. Viantastic used to be a Splatoon YouTuber, though he actually disappeared. Apparently there were allegations of sexual misconduct. However, apparently they were false because there was no proof given. So I think he's innocent. Hopefully. I actually didn't recognize him until I realized one of the videos was Bridget reacting to Splatoon 3. I was like, oh! I remember watching him. I just didn't remember his name, but I did recognize the profile picture. But ever since then, he kind of left. Though, I'm just happy that he's innocent, hopefully, for now. But, I know allegations you have to take seriously, but remember, guys. It's innocent till proven guilty. Let's not jump on any bandwagons, alright? Let's not pick sides, alright? That's how these allegations just go all the way. Though with the internet, it's hard to say. Like, even if you're falsely accused of something, people are still going to keep that to your legacy. So, you gotta be careful, Octoboy. Octoboy was also another YouTuber that did Splatoon, but also stopped uploading. He did like troll videos and stuff like that. But I actually did look up on Reddit, and apparently he's like a professional photographer, which is actually awesome. He also did some stuff for actual Nintendo, so that's really cool. I think the reason these are both together in one big entry is because they're both YouTubers that used to be very respected Splatoon YouTubers, but stopped uploading one way or another. But I hope both of them are doing fine. Well, we know what Octoboy is doing, but I really hope the other guy's doing fine. Like, they seem like talented people. They seem like nice people. And I hope the rest of their lives are good. All right. Yeah, let's move on. This is sober now. Let's get back with the existentialism now. Big Man Sweep. This is a joke entry because people were idolizing Big Man, and honestly, I can't blame you. Big Man is literally the GOAT. Splatoon Shorts collab. I didn't know what this was until I searched it up. Apparently there was this guy named Gabriel Gaming, which sounds familiar. But they're just a bunch of shorts made by Splatoon YouTubers, and it's in this big collaboration. It's like SMG4's SNERs, those things, those big collabs he used to do. Yeah, but it's all that, and honestly, some of these shorts go from wholesome to adorable to fucking chaotic. I mean, it's Splatoon, you're either gonna have all those. Splatoon is just full of weird people, in a good way. I'm very weird, which is why I was lonely in elementary school. I someone literally had forced to be my friend from another grade. Though he was pretty chill and he was very patient with me. Thank you, Emmanuel. Deadfish. Deadfish is a DJ I already talked about, that appeared was mentioned in the Octo expansion, but they did show up in Side Order and stuff. I forgot their real name, but they seem cool. They seem like a vibe to hang out with. Rank S plus 50. Before Rank X was announced on March 2018, the highest rank you could go was Rank S plus 50, but now it's Rank X. And I've seen so many highlights from that mode. That freaking rank mode is fucking toxic. If Splatoon had voice chat and you didn't have to use your phone, I sure there would be so many freaking slurs. It's most of the video would just be bleeped out because, my gosh, like there's some rare times where I could see actually professional and calculated gameplay, but I could feel so much rage in those clips. Holy crap! Bridget the Octoling. I actually did talked about her vaguely in the other entries. I forgot which one. where basically there's these videos where she reacts to Splatoon content and stuff like that. Which, funny enough, I actually have seen a lot in middle school. Dang, these take me back. Man, just content in the late 2010s was actually pretty good. What the heck? Octoling shades. I already did establish in a few entries ago that these shades basically do brainwash Octolings into being evil. And yeah, so Octolings are not evil, Inklings are not racist. It's the shades that are evil. So if next time you see someone with glasses, break them. That's a joke. Don't actually break people's glasses. I say this because I wear glasses myself. Savage Marina. Marina literally destroys Pearl in like every conversation ever. Like when Pearl says that Salmons fear her because they don't even attempt of making her, and Marina's like, because you're short. Yeah, dang, just wow. I mean, I know that's not the best roles Marina had, but she goes all in on her. Like, one time she said, #fire Pearl. Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't really seen any of the idols in battle other than the Shiverfly and Big Man in Splatoon 3, with the boss fight, but I never really seen the idols in battle. So, what if they're lying? Special Splatfests / Splatoon X Nike. Yes, yes, you heard that right. Back in Japan, Splatoon had a Splatfest promoting the new Nike shoes. There were like 2 shoes. I don't really give a fuck about shoes. I just wear slip-on Vans. I wear Vans and stuff. The whole Splatfest is new model versus popular shoe, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about shoes. Though there are special Splatfests that I'd rather be talking about. Like, for example, there are some promoting games, for example, Pokemon Red and Blue, or for Smash Ultimate, they did Heroes vs. Villains. For the Mario's 30th anniversary? No. 35th anniversary, they did Splatfest Mushroom vs. Star. What else did they do? One time in Splatoon 1, I think they did Patrick vs. SpongeBob. I think that was a Splatfest. But yeah, there was like so many special Splatfests that I totally forgot until now. My favorite one has to be the Heroes vs. Villains Splatfest, because back when Ultimate came out, they a lot of characters returning from Brawl and Brawl that were in Smash 4 were villains. And they also added more villains too, like Ridley, King K. Rool, Wolf, and who else? And Bowser and Meta Knight and all that. So I think it was appropriate, and I liked it. I was Heroes, obviously, because is Rob a hero? Actually, in Subspace Emissary, he was sort of a villain, but yeah, he did my goat dirty. Splatoon esports. Yes, Splatoon does have professional leagues and stuff. And that's really it. I mean, it's not as big as Smash, but it's up there. I think I can actually go up against some people in Smash Bros. I'm really good with Rob. Don't disrespect Rob again. Also, if you guys, whoever keeps forgetting about Rob, I will find you and I will have to murder you, because you don't respect the GOAT, Rob. Test fire music. So, basically, these songs have already existed, but they're more demo versions and unfinished versions that are in the test fires of all the Splatoon games. Some had some changes, while some changed differently and stuff. Like, the defeat music felt more hopeful than the melancholic we have one. Actually, we need to make it more melancholic, if we're being honest. But yeah, these are just songs that were either unused or modified before the final game. NW Player 123 or New Player 123. From my research online, I think this guy might be almost lost media, because this guy was very popular back in the Splatoon 1 days, and was mainly known for data mining Splatoon and stuff. Honestly, I think we should take away data miners in this earth, because I think the whole point of video games is to experience secrets for ourselves. I don't want data mining saying, oh, this thing's here. Just let me be surprised. Damn it. 100x battle odds. In Splatoon 3, and I think 2, basically in any Splatfest, there is a chance for you to get 100 times battle, which is something special. I don't know. I don't really care about them. But apparently it's like a really big deal. And the odds of it happening is 1.4%. So for every 100 matches, you play it once. Well, why'd you have to put 1.4 though? What the heck? Well, I'm just gonna round it down to 1%. You have a 1% chance of getting 100 times battle in Splatoon Splatfests. So play 100 matches. Easy. Calamari Incantation in Splatfest. I mean, it's a very popular song on it. Don't know why it's on here or on this iceberg. I feel like that's a given. Shifty Station. Shifty Station is a map that's only exclusive in Splatfests in Splatoon 2, where there's these matches that they're just different maps really. They're actually designed by Marina, which is actually pretty cool. And even though you can't really access them now, you can actually still access them in private battles. So yeah, it was actually played some of them on a private battle before back in 2019, and it was kind of fun. A lot of them had really special gimmicks. Kind of wish they were like, I wish they didn't look the same, but oh well, it's the thought that counts. Like, come on, give me some color. Top 100. It says right there. Basically in Splatfest, if there's a top 100 leaderboard. No kidding. Special ink styles. Basically in Splatoon, I don't know what this could possibly be referring to. Other than in Splatoon 2, if you actually do splatter the ground, it has this nice glittery color on it, and it looks nice. Though it does not actually appear in the Splatoon 2 Turf mode, Turf War, or on any online matches. It only happens in Splatoon 2 Hero mode. And I wish they kept it because it actually looks pretty. What the heck? Only 3 stages. Yeah. So in Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, I thought it was only 2 stages, but it can be 3 stages. In Splatoon, you can only play either one of 2 stages per 2 hours. And I can't believe it hasn't been fixed in Splatoon 3. Like, you just play the same match and stuff, like, you don't get bored of it. Like, why can't it be in Call of Duty where you can just, it could just be a randomized stage? Or how about this? We vote for a stage. Like, we could just pick a stage, and whoever's, and I hate these people. How about the people who take so long to select a stage gets booted out? Yeah. I mean, come on, I can't be the only one that hates these kind of people. Like, just fucking pick a stage. Like, give us 20 seconds. That's enough time, right? And if someone joins the late, give them 20 times so it makes it fair, right? Jeez. Like, I hate when people take forever to pick a stage. Just pick a stage! Jeez! You don't have a favorite stage to just be like, I'm just gonna pick my favorite stage. It's not hard to overthink it. Team names. So in Splatfests, you choose a team and that's your name. Whatever. Actually, wait, I remember because I was watching my boyfriend play the Easter Splatfest, and it gave you like special names for the weapons you had. For example, if you had all dualies, it would say something quirky like that. So I think that's what it means. And I think it only happened in Splatoon 3. I don't remember it happening in Splatoon 2, if I'm being honest. Amiibo outfit change. I think this is referring to if you plug in a character and plug in an amiibo for a character in Splatfest, their outfit will change because it's Splatfest or something like that. I think that's it right there. We're only on tier 1, by the way. We're still in tier 1. Combined Splatfest results. I think on the Splatnet app they combine your results from all the Splatfests and stuff. That's really it. I'm gonna keep going. IRL Splatfest tees. So apparently these are things you can get and buy in real life. And I still don't know how to access them. Like, is there like a secret Splatoon society that you get like secret stuff like CDs and stuff? Because I would like to be a member, please. Region-based Splatfest. So in other countries, like America has their Splatfest, but in other continents, there are different Splatfests that are only specific for that region. And I've actually seen them, and no, there's no cultural differences. And you could like interchange any of these, and yeah, like there is no cultural difference. They're just better Splatfests out there. So, yep, of course America gets the shit of the bunch. Man, why are you so mean to us? What did I do to you, Japan? Fax machine. Okay, so I actually didn't know this was a fax machine. You see, in Splatoon 2, when they announce something, they have this fax machine on screen. I actually didn't know this was a fax machine. I thought this was a giant hall. Yeah, I know I'm very stupid. But yeah, there's like a bunch of theories running around this, and I don't think anything has been confirmed yet. But yeah, it does seem kind of ominous that this fax machine looks super creepy and stuff. I can let your theories run wild. I don't really have one. Other than, it's probably the higher-ups of Splatoon. Maybe. But I don't really have any good theories on this one. But I know a lot of people are kind of skeptical of this. And honestly, I understand. The Splatfest hosts. I don't know what this could be referring to other than the idols, but they host the Splatfest. No fucking shit. Big Shot / Spam 10 comparisons. Yeah, I don't know how mixed the Deltarune and Splatoon community is, but yeah, there's lots of freaking memes with that. The recruitment VHS tape. This is a recruitment video made by Mr. Grizz in Universe about Splatoon 3 and stuff. Anything VHS is scary, let's be honest. I know analog horror has been, beaten and stuff, but let's be freaking honest. It's kind of scary. Samuloid meat in Mako Mart. Yes, apparently there is samuloid meat in Mako Mart. Though, let's be honest, I'm not really surprised because Inklings eat fried fucking fish in the food trucks. So I don't think cannibalism is... Honestly, it's really fucked up that cannibalism is like the least scary thing in this freaking series. After everything we talked about, you think cannibalism beats this? Hell no! Senkichi Hendoeda. Hendoketa. I think that's how you say the name. My Japanese is not the best. But this is the author of all the Splatoon mangas. Apparently he's very anonymous, because if you look at his Wikipedia page, his face is censored. I mean, after what I had to describe with the Marie and Callie thing and pulling her pants down, I honestly would... Yeah, I would keep my face censored too, but, yeah, he or she or they are the author of the books. And from what I've seen, like, I saw Sunflower Splatoon video, and I saw one of the pages. I think this guy might be the most freakiest comic. That's great. Yeah, he is freaky. But I do want to say, I do like the art style of his comics and stuff, and honestly, I would probably like read one out of curiosity, but let's be honest, I've only owned 2 manga of my life, and it's My Hero Academia. But then I realized that, yeah, manga and anime is just full fan service and stuff. But, yeah, that is tier 1 of the Splatoon Iceberg. Yes, I am dead serious. All this was just tier 1. Oh, I'm gonna have a fun time with this one. Maybe I'm just angry because I'm very hungry, and there's some ground beef and taco shells upstairs, so I'm gonna have lunch. I'm Eve Zerky. Stay cinematic.